This is Adrian Neville, and you are listening to the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show.
Produced by the Cleveland Sound Radio Network. Here is the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, hosted by Glenn Moore and Steve Guy.
This is Awesome Wrestling Show. Lots of news to give to you before we start the program. No guests this week, so it's just going to be Steve and I babbling about wrestling. Hopefully you guys can take it. We'll be back next week with interviews. We'll get to that very shortly. You can now follow the show on Twitter. You know, I have my own Twitter following. Steve has his Twitter following. We both tweet about wrestling. So we decided to combine, not our Twitter following, because I would give Steve a very nice big boost in Twitter following if I did that for him. But we decided to make the show.
Be such a D about that.
We decided to make the show our own Twitter handle, TIA Wrestling. That's TIA Wrestling. This is Awesome Wrestling. Couldn't fit that show in there. It's not too many characters. So TIA Wrestling, go up there. We've been following back some of the listeners, a lot of listeners on the program. So if you're there, go back on Twitter. Steve and I have tweeted out the link.
Only 35 of you have followed us as of this recording.
Well, we haven't been really, promoting.
Where's your thousands of followers now, Glenn?
Haven't really been promoting.
All right, it's true.
Also, good old JR recognized our Twitter account.
He sure did. That's why you should follow us.
Yeah. Good old JR responded to my tweet. Saturday morning, I was laying around. I'm like, I missed WBF Livewire. So I grabbed the old photo, posted that bad boy, tagged JR, and JR responded about his sweater. And we went back and forth a couple times with JR. So TIA Wrestling on Twitter is a Twitter name. And segueing into our next giveaway we have on the show is a Daniel Bryan book that came out today on a Tuesday. Get the club going up on a Tuesday. Yes, My Improbable Journey to the Main Event of WrestleMania, written by Daniel Bryan. I am holding your copy in my hand right now. If you follow the Instagram feed of This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, TIA Wrestling. Steve, what's your Twitter handle again?
Ours or mine?
Ours.
TIA Wrestling.
All right. We're going to be saying a lot during the show. Just to get you to hit that follow button. But the only way you can win this book.
Not show. There's no show in it. Just TIA Wrestling. Yeah.
TIA Wrestling on Instagram. I tweeted out when we got mailed a couple more books. I've read the Daniel Bryan book. We're going to talk about that today. It comes out today. We have one copy to give away to our listeners. Only way you can win this bad boy is if you follow us on Twitter, TIA Wrestling, and tell us why you want the Daniel Bryan book. It's going to save you $30, 25 plus tax, and we'll ship it your way. Yeah, shipping. We'll pay for the shipping.
Yeah.
We'll send it out to you. So
it's a good deal.
TIA Wrestling on Twitter, and then tweet at us telling us why you want this Daniel Bryan book. So that's what's going on here. So Instagram, we have a new Twitter, TIA Wrestling. We're going to say it a lot. But follow us. Let's get our Twitter followers up. I mean, JR responded to our tweet. Why aren't you following us? And if you want this book, you're going to have to follow us anyway.
Do we are we gonna give special like extra opportunity to someone if they're a vegan and they really want the Daniel Bryan book?
How do you prove that though?
Yeah, I don't know. He's not a vegan
How
anymore.
about send us a photo of you eating some nuts and some grains? How about that?
Don't send us a photo of you eating some nuts. People could take that the very wrong way. I don't need the photos that are gonna come along with that.
Send us a photo of you at Whole Foods.
At Whole Foods.
Send us a photo from there making a smoothie. Send us a photo of you making a smoothie. Send us a photo of this, wherever you want. Follow us on Twitter for the book and tell us why, or send us a photo, and we're going to pick one person next week on the show. The winner will be announced on next week's show, and we'll ship it out to you. We'll follow you back. We'll get your information. We'll send it out to you, and you'll have yourself a copy of the new Daniel Bryan book.
And it covers everything from the very beginning of his life, when he started liking wrestling, to WrestleMania 30.
Also, if you follow the Twitter account, you will see I will be at NXT in Miami, and I'll be tweeting some photos out from the Twitter account on who's wrestling and this whole atmosphere on the Twitter and Instagram for This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, TIA Wrestling on Twitter. And we're going to be at Rowan 7 in Fort Lauderdale Larry Zbyszko is going to be there. We're going to interview with Larry Zbyszko, so he'll be our guest on the show next week. Also, Blue Pants will be there wrestling, so we'll be talking to her. And there's some other people that have competed in NXT and some dark matches, and also some former TNA wrestlers are going to be there. So that's going to be a cool event. So if you follow the Twitter account, you'll be able to see some pictures and some tweets from there as well. So
Hall of Famer Larry Zbyszko.
Yes, so Hall of Famer and the living legend.
That's right,
Larry Zbyszko. So all that. So we're getting past the news, but segueing into our next little segment here is a Daniel Bryan book. Now, Steve, I read the book, got my copy, and about 3 weeks ago we got it, and I read it 2 days. It's not, if you're expecting the book to be like The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin or like Jerry the King Lawler's or Ric Flair's or like Mick Foley's books, okay, you're going to be disappointed. Daniel Bryan has his own way, has his own story, and I loved it, the point where he talked about his indie, how he got up with Shawn Michaels, how he trained him, he's got to get him into wrestling, and then it leads into WWE with NXT, a little behind-the-scenes stuff. But I enjoyed the book. I think it was a good read. The last page will make you cry, no matter who you are, how tough you are. The llast page will make you cry. I'm guaranteeing Steve hasn't gotten there yet.
I've not gotten to the last page, no.
But it will make Steve cry. Guarantee it. But I think it's a great read. It's one of these reads you go to your bookstore, buy it. If you like wrestling, if you like Daniel Bryan, it's a good read. It goes in relationship with Brie Bella, the whole vegan aspect of his life. But indie scene, I love reading about that. A lot of people, maybe average wrestling fan knows about it. They know about Daniel Bryan in WWE, but they don't know, Bryan Danielson and all that whole aspect of him for his indie. But I enjoy the book. Steve, have you enjoyed it so far?
Yeah, I'm kind of just now really into the indie parts of it, and I was telling you, like, earlier on, it's kind of slower, but I think you just made a very great point in that, in reading it, it's not like The Rock's book and those other books, because those are guys, and Daniel Bryan talks about it himself, about, personality traits and whatnot, what kind of personality he has, and you think about those guys, and they are very overly charismatic, they have everything, and when you're reading their books, you do think about that.
Right.
You're in that mindset, like, oh, it's like almost in your mind, this is how that character, that person would tell the story.
Yeah. And
you're right, Daniel Bryan's book and his storyteller is written, it's kind of in a manner of which is him. It's a little bit all over the place, but there's still some good stuff initially, and now that we're into indie stuff, that's the stuff I really want to hear, is the nitty-gritty. I mean, the beginning I liked, but there's a lot of, I started liking wrestling when I was a little kid, which, though, to his credit, I think, listen, when you're a wrestler, that's just how you have to start the book out. But now they get into the indie stuff, it's cool. The one thing I did enjoy was, and I couldn't remember if I knew it or not, but talking about NXT and his first night out there when he was put in the WWE ring, and they were just like, here you go. They gave them, they didn't tell them they were going to. You got to come up with something. You got to say something. Oh, that was very unique. That was something I didn't necessarily realize, at least if I did know, I don't remember hearing that they had to do. And I was like, wow, that's pretty gutsy. You think about it as a television viewer, now knowing like, oh, you just threw these guys out here. They didn't have anything prepared.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they suck. I'm going to hate watching your program.
Yeah. I like, you haven't got to the part where Vince has gotten involved.
No.
In the book, so there's some good pages about the promo classes that Vince is ahead of, and interaction between Daniel and Vince. There's some good paragraphs about that. So there's some good stuff. There's Daniel Bryan is not a guy that's gonna shoot from the hip, so to speak. There's no confrontations. There's no juicy stuff, dirt sheet stuff. There's nothing like that. There's a little passages about Ezekiel Jackson, being a douche towards Daniel Bryan and William Regal sticking up for him. There's those, about that. That's been leaked online. All the dirt sheets, picked that up immediately when the book came out. But that's it, and that's what people want, is the juicy stuff. And there's no juicy stuff. So if you're looking for, what's going on behind the scenes, like you'll get some stuff, but it's very, WWE not controlled, but Daniel Bryan is just not a guy that's going to give you all the juicy
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I was going to say. I don't think it has to be WWE controlled because of who he is.
Yeah, that's why I kind of
It's
stopped
just like,
myself.
hey, here's my story. But I think for people who not necessarily have been told no, but maybe have been told no, or just we're going to be that person where it's like, I can't do this. It'll be a great read. It'll be somewhat inspiring for those folks who weren't supposed to make it to where they got to, or, thinking, I can never get there. Read this story.
Yeah.
Guy's what, 5'8"?
Yeah.
Becomes world heavyweight champion. That's a fantastic story.
Only thing I didn't like about the book, and this is kind of just a little small, but I did enjoy the book as it was a good read. If I read a book in 2 days, it's because I'm engaged and I like reading, and I'm not putting it down. I'm like, I'll read it next week, but I did want to read it. Is the introduction and chapters where
it's kind of going through the WrestleMania weekend, essentially.
I mean, we knew about that because the documentary they put out, WB24, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So we knew like what's going on behind the scenes, but the way it was written, like Daniel Bryan is telling us, to the smart fan, like, okay, these are matches going on. This is who's going to win. Like it's not
here's
like,
the actual story.
Yeah. But the way the guy that introduces the chapters writes is like, oh, the cerebral assassin Triple H, Daniel Bryan is getting his kicks in. Can Triple H? It's like, dude, you don't. It's not like a comic book. Like you're trying to sell it to me.
Yeah,
like,
I just want to know a story.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't try to like build up the match to be like some like superhero thing. Like it's all.
I will say we're nitpicking very early on. He says Daniel Bryan refers to his wife as Brie, right? And it's like Brie, as Bryan refers to her. It's it's a wrestle world, better known as Brie Bella. I was like, no, we got that.
Yeah. Did you get to the part where Bryan talks about his first sexual encounter with Brie Bella? Have you gotten that far yet?
No.
Okay, so it gets kind of juicy when they talk about.
Yeah, with that.
That's a good part. So we're not going to talk about it because I don't want to spoil the whole book for people.
Yeah.
But he does talk about his first sexual experience with Brie Bella. So there's some juicy.
Before I read it, there were
stuff.
parts where I definitely skipped around it before sitting down to like read it, and there's definitely some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, he is an amusing guy.
Yeah.
I will say that. I think what's cool about the book is that you do get to have more fun with Daniel Bryan. Like that makes sense. We watch him on screen and he doesn't really talk. He doesn't do a lot of mic time, which he, confesses he's not good at that stuff necessarily. So this does give you more into here's the guy. We really love and enjoy the wrestler and the whole underdog story, but here's just this easygoing, fun dude. He's a guy that you're just like, I just want him to be my buddy.
Yeah. So like I said, we're giving away a book. We're giving away one copy to a fan of the show. You got to follow us on Twitter at TIA Wrestling on Twitter. Yeah. TIA Wrestling, and then tweet at us. Tell us why you would like the book, or tweet us a photo of you at Whole Foods or eating a smoothie or something that Daniel Bryan would do. A yes chant or something, but send us something that makes you, kind of be in Daniel Bryan and not Brie mode, but in Bryan mode. But or just tell us why you want the book. And thanks to St. Martin's Press for sending us out some copies for Steve and I, and also a copy for our listeners. So thanks to St. Martin's Press. And Daniel Bryan will be on the show in a couple of weeks. We were going to have him on this week's show, but Bryan they canceled, and Bryan was busy, so we're going to do it next couple of weeks. So Daniel Bryan will be on the show. We'll talk about the book, and when Steve finishes it, I want to get Steve's reaction to the book as well. Speaking of the book, and segueing into Raw and Battleground, and of course the big news is Undertaker. Really quick, Steve, are you surprised that they didn't shell out the book more on Raw with Daniel Bryan the day before? They had a little graphic like, hey, buy the book, but like Daniel Bryan didn't come on the show or anything, or they didn't really push it. It's
written, with WWE essentially.
Are you surprised?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back to, they used to really, when the Rock's book came out, they were big on it.
Yeah, Mick
Stone
Foley would
Cold's
come out holding a book
about
like,
it.
hey,
Mick Foley would come out,
really go out,
big on it. And maybe it's because not giving him airtime just as him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if Daniel Bryan comes out there right now to push his book, that crowd's just going to go crazy.
Which is, but like a lot of people maybe don't know the book is coming out, and that would inform 4
Yeah.
million people at home watching.
Yeah.
You put a graphic up. I'm not paying attention to the graphics at the bottom. I don't care. But like 4 million people instantly.
Yeah,
will
why
know
not
the
talk
book.
about it? I
Yeah.
mean, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And I haven't even really I've been watching WWE Network stuff recently and like all weekend. And they didn't have anything on there. You'd have thought they'd thrown a little promo or something, advertisement in there.
Even a 3-minute backstage segment, like show Bryan, maybe a couple of the guys like hanging out with Bryan backstage, like, hey, how you doing? How's getting back?
At Battleground.
Yeah, you could have had that. You get a nice pop in the arena. Daniel Bryan's holding his book, maybe giving out a couple copies, like, hey, I got you a copy. There you go.
Perfect quick segment. Backstage interview with primetime players before their match up against the New Day at Battleground, and Eden or little JoJo back there being like, "Hey guys, what do you think? Are you gonna win? Are you gonna overcome the New Day's power, positivity, or whatever?" And they're like, "Yeah, we brought our own positivity." They're like, "You think we're gonna win?" And then there's Daniel Bryan. Yes.
That's too much. Then you don't want to tie Bryan to anybody. Just make it simple.
Oh, I love that. And then you have Titus,
or even have like heel Stephanie and Triple H, like
making fun of it.
Yeah, making fun of it. Really, I mean, I know this is supposed to be be a star, but geez, Brock Lesnar was yelling at the top of his lungs that he's going to murder the Undertaker. I mean, on live TV.
Yeah, I'm going to murder.
Yeah,
That was
a few times.
I liked it.
I loved it. All right, let's get into it, Steve. Like I said, Daniel Bryan book. This is Awesome Wrestling Show, giving away one copy. TIA Wrestling on Twitter. Follow us. Tell us why you want the book. We're going to pick one person, and we're going to ship it to you. No cost to you. You're going to have it in your hands. We'll announce the winner next week on the show, so stay tuned for next week's show for the winner. But you got to follow us, and you got to tell us why on Twitter, why you want the book. All right. Big news, of course, is, the best part of Raw last night, Steve. Absolute best part was the Straight Outta Compton movie ads. Best part of Raw.
Compton.
No, obviously Undertaker's back. Battleground. There was whispers the week before on all the dirt sheets.
Yeah.
I was expecting it. I even kind of tweeted it out before it happened.
At the same time, how many times did we hear Sting was coming? Sting was coming, Sting, and then he finally did. Yeah,
the photos of Taker back in shape. Working out. People, insiders saying Taker was coming back. The way they did it was great. Obviously, we all know what happened. But Steve, Taker is back facing Lesnar I would say a year, 16 months from the fact that Lesnar did beat Undertaker. Match at SummerSlam coming up. I love it just because it's Taker. It adds an aura. It brings ratings. He brought 1 million viewers to Raw from the previous weeks to this one show, which is great for Raw. But I love it. I know Taker's old. I know Lesnar is young. But Taker equals ratings. They got a big pop, and Lesnar is the big draw, and I love the program, man.
Anytime you have a battle that just goes full out and they're brawling and they're being separated by all the superstars and everybody else.
2 segments worth.
I love it. 2 segments. That was the cool part, is that they went backstage and they were still doing it.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. And I know that there were people out there who were like, oh, well, why would you separate them? Obviously, he's just going to go right back, just right around the corner from each other in the back room. Of course, they're going to find each other. Stop it. Stop overanalyzing. Just have fun. Because
wrestling isn't real.
Yeah, exactly. Just have fun in this moment, because it was great. And then some people are like, oh, well, really, Bo Dallas is supposed to be holding Brock. Let's just stop. Just have fun in that, because this is the passion and the animosity that they were showing and going after each other. That's a blast, man. When you have one guy all the way on the other side of the ring and you watch the other just leap over 20 dudes and they start punching each other.
It was like the old school time
stuff.
Stuff.
It's like a bar fight. It's
like
great.
Tyson and Austin. And Vince was Triple H.
That's exactly what I thought of, was Tyson and Austin.
You ruined it, Austin.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
And because that thing is, we talk about it so long. It's like, you can talk about Randy Orton and Sheamus at Battleground. Solid match. But why? Why was it? Why did we have that match? Where, if that's going to be an ongoing feud, why? Tell me why. This is how you do a feud. These guys hate each other at this point. And it says something that it's been well over a year, but you still have the believability of like, yep, I know exactly why this feud is intense and this is amazing. You don't have that with any of these other things. You used to have that all the time, even in mid-card levels.
Yeah.
There's no championship attached to this, but now we know why. I mean, Lesnar breaks Undertaker's streak. Undertaker has now cost Brock Lesnar the championship. Those things, pride becomes more important than the belt, and you just don't have those feuds going. The Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, kind of you're getting there because of the way that they essentially use Roman Reigns' family with it. Sure, that's going to pull Roman Reigns after Bray Wyatt. It's personal, I think, is the point, I guess, long about that I'm making.
Yeah.
There's no personal beef between any of these guys. Throw something in there that makes it a personal beef of why they hate each other.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
I enjoyed it because you had Undertaker coming out explaining himself, and then you had the fight, and you had 2 segments, and those were some stiff shots they were throwing at each other. Those were not, excuse me, slaps and punches. Those were legit. And did you see Taker throw some bows at one of the Ascension guys too? He literally, I forget which one it was, but he literally was punching the guy in the back of the head and his arm when he was holding him. I mean, and Lesnar was not like anywhere near. Undertaker was going off. It reminded me of JBL going off in the Blue Meanie.
Blue Meanie?
Back at ECW One Night Stand back, I think 2006 or 5 or 6. But it reminded me of that. But I love it. It had a realistic to it. It made it. And when the first segment ended, I'm like, oh, that's it? Like, you're going to end it at 9 o'clock? Like, what the heck's going to happen? Then they made a whole other segment with guys trying to hold him back backstage. Lesnar gets detained. Whatever with that, it kicked him out. But I loved it. But this was the show of facials because Heyman's face when he's looking in the camera and then the gong goes off, he's like, oh. And then Taker's eyes.
Like he's almost going to crap himself.
And then Taker's eyes when he was being held back against the ring.
Yeah.
His eyes looked like it was going to pop out of his head. It was intense. I posted a picture on my Instagram. It was going to haunt me all night because his eyes were just like monster-like. It was nuts. It was crazy. I loved it. But I didn't love who was involved holding these guys back. All right? First of all, in these things that happen, all the jobbers come out. Zack Ryder comes out, like you said, Bo Dallas, Adam Rose, Fandango, guys that aren't on TV every week that we love to see on a regular basis. It doesn't happen. But then you have Kevin Owens out there. You have Sheamus out there. Your Money in the Bank winner. We can talk about Sheamus. We don't like or dislike the gimmick. But Kevin Owens, who beat John Cena in his first WWE match, who just had a great program, 4-star matches, great matches, classic matches with Cena. He is out there with all the jobbers holding these guys back. There's been, if you read Dave Meltzer and you read all his stuff, he's mostly right. Sometimes he's wrong, but he's writing that Vince does not like Kevin Owens, that he will never be more than the mid-carder, and him throwing him out there last night was to prove like, hey, this is how I feel, because Cena isn't going to go out there. Randy Orton isn't out there. Rollins isn't out there. Reigns isn't out there. Ambrose isn't out there. Bray Wyatt isn't out there. The big main guys are not out there with the jobbers, but Kevin Owens is? What the fuck, man?
Well, here's a couple of thoughts on that. One, I don't mind guys who aren't jobbers being out there who are a little bit bigger and have been shown off recently, because I feel that in this situation, be it with these two people, it lends credence to The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, two unstoppable forces.
No. Then why isn't Cena out there then?
Here's on the other side of it. Everybody that you just named has had a match or has a quote-unquote feud of some sort, finished or unfinished, with these two. So then you can't get into the whole, oh, he's out there and then you run into this or whatever. Do you remember when Brock Lesnar or I forget who it was, that Triple H was holding some people back and then he was separating them, and then he comes over and I think it was Randy Orton, somebody, and he grabs CM Punk and he throws him down, and then CM Punk went after Triple H, It was like before Punk left, and that's when we were like, oh, it's supposed to be Triple H and Punk and WrestleMania. That was essentially supposed to be the start of that. That's what I thought of then. Because if you put one of those guys out there, now all of a sudden Cena's got a reason for Lesnar, and Lesnar you can start brawling with Cena because they've got a problem, and it kind of takes away from. Reigns has a reason to have an issue with Lesnar. Undertaker, Bray Wyatt, obviously. So you get into, I don't know, those kind of things.
But come on, man. Don't you remember the great confrontation, epic confrontation on one of the biggest shows ever? Like, one of the pinnacle shows of Raw. Heath Slater against The Undertaker and Kane at Raw 1000, dude. Heath Slater was out there trying to hold these guys back. And it's great because when Triple H was like giving the pep talk, like, "Hey guys, you got to go out there." Heath Slater's, you can see like they do a pan of who's out there, like who's there. Right. And Slater goes like, you can see a mouth like, "I got this. Like, come on, Heath, we love you, buddy." But gets on the show. But come on, I mean, I get that whole aspect of it. But Kevin Owens, man, like, the guy's been on fire. In his own way.
Yeah, I mean,
you throw him up for the jobbers. You show him with fucking Adam Rose. Like,
I agree. I wouldn't have liked to have seen him out there, but I don't know. I'm not putting that much stock in who was out there.
But you got Sheamus, Mr. Money in the Bank. You build up the Money in the Bank winner to be the next WB World Heavyweight Champion.
That's what I'm saying. I think the stock in this case needs to be put more so into the fact of who they're separating than the who is being out there.
Well, maybe I'm nitpicking a little bit, but that kind of upset me because
you basic jobbers can't stop Brock Lesnar and the Undertaker.
With Owens and Sheamus out there, it didn't stop them any less than what if they didn't go.
That's why you needed Super Cena out there.
God. But that's the only nitpicking thing, and I am nitpicking, and it upset me because if I was on the writing staff, I would be like, we cannot put these. They have big time positions in major storylines, or they should. They're biggest stars. They should not be out there as an afterthought. They should have their own right. That's why Cena isn't out there, and those guys are out there because it would take away from that.
You know what I did love from all the nitpickers that are out there and have been like mocking the logistics of this and everything and the logical thought? The one thing is every time he back guys into corners, anytime besides this that we've seen the brawls, you've kind of always thought like, why doesn't the guy just get out of the ring and run around? And that's what Brock Lesnar did. But nobody gave credit to that. Everybody's like, well, he's right around the corner. Obviously, they're both going to be in the back. But what about that? They still changed it up a little bit. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And
that was the best is actually when he ran over there and he just jumped on the apron and started.
Oh, yeah.
Brock Lesnar in general, his athleticism right now.
Getting a little bit,
well, his athleticism in general, because that just reminded me of Battleground. I just got to get this out there. I know we're talking about Raw a little bit.
Banana in your pocket?
But
or
remember,
to talk about Brock Lesnar. Jeez.
I am just astounded by his athleticism right now. Because I was texting somebody last night, and I was like, I still can't believe that this guy didn't make it in the NFL. At Battleground, when he chased...
Really?
Dude.
Did you see him?
But
come on.
His
dude.
athleticism right now, from to chase down Seth Rollins and leap over the freaking...
I was listening up to the NFL part. Dude.
Boundary, or the
Seth
barrier.
Rollins is athletic. Do you think he could be in the NFL?
No, but he's not.
Because you're athletic doesn't mean you could be in the NFL, dude.
But he wouldn't be a defensive end at all, pushing 300 pounds with that athleticism.
Sumo wrestlers are athletic. Sumo guys are athletic. You don't see. If that was the case, they would line up 6 sumo wrestlers.
Brock Lesnar, for his size, his speed, his athletic ability, for pushing 300 pounds. I'm not saying he should be a running back or something, but as a quality defensive alignment or D end, and I'm not even saying he should be an NFL superstar. I'm just saying I can't believe he didn't make it into the NFL, onto the roster.
What number did Lesnar wear in the NFL?
Probably not 69.
He did wear 69?
Did he? That's why he's my favorite.
He did force a fumble in the preseason game. So
eventually taken by Jared Allen from the Minnesota Vikings.
He did wear the 69, Lesnar. He looks so small out there. He looks so small, too, out there.
Dude, that was sweet, though, when he jumped the barrier after Rollins.
Yeah,
he's a beast.
All right, we'll take a break. We're going to come back. We still got to call Scott Steiner. Maybe he'll answer this week. There's no guest this week. Maybe he will. But you never know. Be positive. Positivity. Steiner will answer. Steiner will answer. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the women's wrestling revolution in the WWE, the Divas, division. We'll pimp out AIW August 14th.
Another match announced.
Yeah, a match that
Mondo.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, and Mary Dobson. Another couples match.
I knew Mondo was going to be there. I didn't know they were with each other. Oh, that's great. Also, we'll talk about the Wyatt family back together. And Steve.
Glenn.
Are you a fan of Ballers with The Rock?
I love it.
Oh, I love this show, too. So we'll hit on that as well. After the break, here, this is Awesome Wrestling Show. Make sure, tell people that you know, if they want a Daniel Bryan book or a chance to win, you have to follow the show, TIA Wrestling, on Twitter, and then tweet at us. Let us know why you want to win this book, or tweet us a photo of you eating some grains or nuts, not those kind of nuts.
Stop it.
Or making a smoothie, or doing something that Daniel Bryan would do. What would Daniel Bryan do? Let us know. There's your hashtag.
What would Daniel Bryan do?
Hashtag WWDBW. What would Daniel Bryan do? Oh, D, yeah.
Yeah.
What would Daniel Bryan wear? Something made out of not animals?
Yeah, probably not animals. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would Daniel Bryan do? Or, I don't know. Just follow us on Twitter. Send us a tweet why you want this book. We'll pick a winner next week. This is Awesome Wrestling. Thanks for downloading this week's show, but we want to hear from you. Send your questions, comments, or concerns to me, Glenn. The email is glenn@clesound.com. That's glenn@clesound.com. And your question could be read during the show.
Holler if you hear me!
And welcome back to the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. We are now calling Scott Steiner the big bad booty daddy. It's ringing, and once again he is not yet to answer. Glenn sits here.
Your call has been forwarded to an
motionless
automatic
as we
voice
get the
message
voicemail.
system.
Another week goes by.
Why are we still whispering about it?
Yeah, another week goes by. No Scott Steiner. So this is going to be a long journey of no Scott Steiner. All right, Steve. Really quick before we get into the more meat of the show. I know we went a little long in the first segment. We thank you for listening to the show, for putting us up every week, up with us. With our conversations, with our interviews. For first-time listener, we appreciate you. Go on iTunes, subscribe, rate us, leave a comment, leave us a rating.
Rate, review, subscribe.
Yes, and also follow us on Twitter, TIA Wrestling on Twitter. Win a Daniel Bryan book. Follow, let us know why you want the book, and we'll pick a winner next week on the show. So other subjects to talk about, we teased before the break. Before we get into that, obviously Cesaro, we mentioned him, but I know this was thrown out there before. Steve mentioned it before, that people know about this, but I find it amazing that Tyson's kid injury, 5% of people that sustain his injury walk away, and he's one of those 5%ers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him. That is exciting.
Make it sound like, hey, Steve, I got a pizza and some beer.
That's huge. Sorry, I'm just pumped for people surviving.
Well, and then 95% of them do not walk at all. And you have that whole...
You're not going to get a yeah out of me.
No, I can't. I was waiting for something. That's why I'm not laughing because of the fact. I'm laughing. I'm looking at Steve waiting for something.
Oh, no. I don't know what to give you there.
But it compares to the same injury as Christopher Reeves. So Tyson Kidd is very lucky. He'd probably never wrestle again. If he does, it's a miracle. I don't think he ever will wrestle again.
Hey, here's a little mini poll for all you Twitter followers at TIA Wrestling.
5 of them.
Yeah, let us know. What do you think Tyson Kidd should do? Obviously, he still has a long road to recovery. Glenn and I were kind of talking about this. You're grateful to be a part of that 5%.
He's retiring.
Do you retire, or do you try to stage a comeback one day?
Dude, people who have had the same injury, 95% do not walk again. They are a vegetable.
And you are walking, and you're doing this again.
One more bump, and you're done, dude.
Who said that?
Dude, if I break your leg, and the stat is 95% of the people that breaks their leg, they can't walk ever again.
But I am walking.
Okay, but 5% heel, but you're not like the same. It's still like it's very, it could break again.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go out there and do kickboxing and do everything you want to do with that 5% leg?
Maybe. You're
crazy.
I gotta live that life,
and
man.
then if I hit it again, it's gonna break again, and then you're gonna be a vegetable. You're done.
You don't know that's gonna break again. I like that you just equated breaking your leg to being paralyzed.
I'm saying if breaking your leg was it is a huge thing. All right, I'll shut up now. But I'm just saying it's a great stat, and kudos to Heisen Kid. I hope he comes back in the ring. He's getting a big push, but odds are he won't come back. But that's an amazing stat comparing to Christopher Reeves.
I'm just curious what people think. Should he test his limits? Should he keep going?
If any of the doctors follow us on Twitter, let us know. I don't like all these Twitter.
Yeah,
doctors.
if you know anything about this injury in general, what are the odds of it recurring?
Yeah, I'm not a doctor.
I think
You're not a doctor.
I'm not either. I think that's a good thing to know.
Yeah, if you're a doctor,
or if you know a doctor, let us know. He? Is it even feasible for him to come back?
Last night was Raw 1,156. Raw 1156. I was at Raw 1000 in St. Louis 3 years ago in St. Louis, and it's very weird that now, 3 years later, Battleground was in St. Louis, and we're at 1156. Gee, that's a lot. That's a lot of Raws, but kudos to them. Longest running episodic.
It's a lot of
TV
John
show
Cena
in history.
promos.
Oh God, I'm sick of it. Oh, did you love when Owens was waiting for Cena to come out at Battleground, and they're waiting for the music to hit? Owens goes, "Come on, John. We've seen this before. We've seen it the last 10 years.
Yeah.
We've seen this act last 10 years. That was great. All right, Ballers. I love Ballers, dude. With The Rock. Rock is amazing in it. It's great. Okay. Knowing what I know about the NFL and being in locker rooms and covering the NFL, this show is like right on point. What happens?
Legit.
People hate each other. There's drugs. There's girls. There's sex. There's guns.
This is like your most
like
realistic
GTA football.
This is your most realistic behind the scenes since Playmakers on ESPN.
Yeah,
which of course got canceled by the NFL.
Oh, because they realized, hey, this is
way too real.
Yeah, and it was on ESPN.
Yeah,
so they had control. Yeah. HBO, they don't have control. They can
and Inside the NFL or whatever is no longer on HBO either.
Yeah, so they
now on Showtime.
Yeah, if NFL has a problem with it, tough luck. But yeah, The Rock is amazing. It's a great show. If you have HBO. If you want to give a free trial of HBO, I think you can download the app for free. Watch all the
Rob Corddry's great in it.
Yeah, it's great show, and I highly recommend it. It's an entourage with the football aspect of it.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg's an executive producer.
Yes, there you go. And The Rock's in it. The Rock is
Peter Berg,
great.
Who did Friday Night Lights.
Yeah,
he's a part of it.
So, like I said, Ballers, and I'm sure we'll talk about Ballers.
Oh, awesome!
A lot
awesome
in the
show, not movie.
The Rock. I
Do you like Ricky Jerry?
Which one's Ricky? That guy that wants
the wide receiver.
Yeah. Like as the character or as the actor?
Yeah, as a character.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah.
Yeah, you like Ricky?
Yeah.
All right.
I like how he. Spoiler alert! Paid the cop.
That was good.
That was good.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Pay the money anyway to get his number back.
Took me a minute. I didn't see it right away, and then I was like,
yeah, that's good.
That's funny stuff.
It's always good.
Quit cheating on your woman, though, Ricky.
I mean, all NFL players do that.
I guess.
It happens.
Not Charles. Not yet.
Not yet. I thought it happened. That was great. that was a great segue.
That was great.
Oh, I love that. Was great. That was. If that doesn't win an Emmy or Oscar or whatever,
it would be Emmy. Yeah.
Yeah. If it doesn't win an Emmy, that
Golden
camera
Globe.
work,
Somebody should get Golden Globe. Yeah.
For that. That was a great transition. Love it. He looks like Forrest Whitaker's son, is it? Or is he?
He's in a bunch of stuff, and I don't remember what.
He was in Vantage Point. Great movie.
No, that's Forrest Whitaker, not this guy.
Oh, is it? Okay, I'm confused, man. Whatever. We'll figure it out. All right. AIW, August 14th. We're going to be there. We'll do some interviews from that event. AIWrestling.com. They're partnering with Wrestling Geek.
Geek Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Strongsville.
So that's going to be in Strongsville. So AIWrestling.com. Coming off one of the biggest shows, Absolution 10, you can download on their website. So make sure to go to AIWrestling.com for links and proper merch and all that good stuff with AIW. Great partner.
I'm going to give a fun fact out there. Random fun wrestling fact for all you wrestle geeks.
All right.
This fun fact is from Demolition Axe and Smash.
Oh, boy.
Least favorite people, Mr. Fuji.
Ooh, yeah.
The sneaky manager who double-crossed them.
Now, Tim Smith, who is a co-host of the Worthy of the Jersey the podcast here on CLEsound.com. I produced their show for them.
Sneaky manager.
So
double cross.
Tim Smith brought me about 100 of these cards from 1990. They are WWF Classic trading cards. So they are like a baseball card. They have a picture of the person on the front and then some facts about the person on the back. And Steve has been spending their whole afternoon, evening here going through.
Axe and Smash is my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Special feats and talents. WWF Tag Team Championship. Overcoming former manager Mr. Fuji's treachery and deception.
Not Mr. Fuji.
Ooh. This is how I learned to read. I was 6 years old, and I learned what treachery and deception was thanks to Mr. Fuji, that double-crossing, sneaky manager.
All right, so, Steve, I think it was for Battleground, and Michael Cole has been off his game a little bit recently.
Yeah.
He's been, I don't know what's going on.
Maybe he's taking on
Cole.
too much. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on with Cole, but when Sasha Banks was in the ring, and he was calling a spot. Michael Cole was calling the spot. And he goes, Sasha Grey with the hold. And I'm like, what did he just call her? Sasha Grey? And for all you pornoholics, love a good porn. Come on, Steve, admit it. You watch porn.
When you said that to me, I immediately was thinking Skylar Grey.
No, Sasha Grey.
If you recall the conversation. I was like, oh, yeah, she's that singer.
No, Sasha Grey. Do you know who Sasha Grey is before I told you before the show? Did you know?
I know the name, but I couldn't tell you what she looks like.
Sasha Grey is a well-known porn star. She's been on Entourage a few episodes as herself on Entourage, so people might know her.
She a brunette?
Yes. She is a porn star, which, obviously guys, come on guys, admit you watch porn, you probably know who she is.
Isn't she
Look her up.
Bernie Kosar's daughter?
No.
There's some backstory to Sasha Grey. Continue on while I look her up.
So, I don't think Sasha Grey is an active porn star anymore, but she has some great movies. Not that I do know. But the thing is, Michael Cole, when he's calling a match, in his mind, Sasha Grey comes out of his mouth, which is tremendous, a porn star. And WWE, it's been all over YouTube. WWE has been hard, no pun intended, and furious trying to get these videos down. And people post it on Facebook, and then they can't get off Facebook for some reason. But it's on there. I'll play the clip right now.
One-on-one. Sasha Grey, they have her here.
Okay, there you go. Cole playing with Cole playing with Sasha Grey. Cole playing with his words and calling Sasha Banks Sasha Grey, which is terrific. Well, Steve over here.
315 adult films as a performer and 2 as a director.
Yeah.
Good for her getting behind the camera.
Yeah, I think she stopped going in front of the camera.
She's an American actress, model, author, and musician.
I mean, she's pretty.
Wow.
She's not just one of those girls that did it for a year. I mean, she's one of the legendary. So yeah, she was mentioned on Raw on, I think it was Battleground, when Sasha Banks was doing a spot. So that was kind of funny immediately when you think of Sasha. Michael Cole thinks of Sasha Grey, which is terrific. Love it. So like I said, I played the clip for you. People might think that's juvenile, but come on, guys. If you're listening to this show, if you're a wrestling fan, you watch porn, dude. All right, you're not higher than porn if you watch wrestling. I think let's be real right now. So if you're shaking your head listening to the show, and you're gonna denounce me for watching porn and knowing who Sasha Grey is right off the top of my head, then screw you, buddy. You're not being true to yourself.
She was involved in something sports related, or I don't know. I know this name somehow, aside from pornography.
Steve, I see you're growing your beard. Are you going to be the next member of the Wyatt family to go with Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt? Because they're looking for somebody. They need 3, buddy. With the rumors going around with Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Sting facing the Wyatt family, they need a 3rd member, man.
I would love to be part of the Wyatt family.
I'm growing my beard out, just hoping.
Oh, man, I would love to take Steve Guy on all my 5 lives, man. I'm just thinking, man, Glenn Moore, I don't know, man. Your beard isn't quite long enough yet.
Sorry, Bray.
Oh.
Getting there, man.
you'll get there. But if you're one
The
of your
Amish thing.
fireflies, then maybe you can still be a part of the Wyatt family.
So what I gotta do, Bray? I gotta grow my beard out a little bit longer. Do I gotta hold my cell phone up when I see you as a firefly? Is that what I gotta do?
You need to prove yourself to the Wyatt family.
So what I need to do? Eat a bucket of slop, go wrestle a gator in the backwoods, hold your lantern for you. What I gotta do, Bray, to be in the Wyatt family?
You need to wear a sheep mask.
Oh God.
Because Eric Rowan's not
I
here.
thought you said something else.
A shit
I thought you said
mask?
sheet.
Oh. He's not racist.
I thought you said sheet.
Sheep mask.
Sheep. Ah.
That's terrible.
Oh. I was like, Steve, what?
You need to wear a sheet mask and come down wearing your sheet mask with the Confederate flag. Is that where you thought I was going? Come on, Glenn. Bray Wyatt's not a
There's a
racist.
lot of stuff going around in the world
He
today. You never know.
Oh,
You
man.
never know. Yeah, I like it. I like the Wyatt family. I think Wyatt family needs to have more than just Bray. I think Bray was getting a little stale, and I like the intrigue of adding a third member. Obviously, Eric Rowan is hurt, so he's not going to be in it. But add somebody else. Surprise me.
Would you let Bray Wyatt give you love advice?
No, don't. Come on. Say that for
I'm not
next
going
week.
to. I'm just wondering.
Say it for next week. See, I spread them out now. But I love it. Wyatt family back together intrigues me, and I want to see who the third member is going to be. And if Sting and Reigns and Ambrose wants to have a three-way match, with them, so be it.
Oh, so Sasha Grey will be involved.
God,
After all,
she's used to more than one guy.
do you want to see it be someone that is a permanent member of the Wyatt family, or
Yeah.
just a temporary member?
Bo Dallas.
I'd love to see Bo Dallas be the
Bo
fourth
Wyatt.
member,
but
but I don't know that that's gonna
I
happen.
don't think it's going to happen either.
So, I mean, but would you kick Eric Rowan out, or would you just have 4 people instead?
Yeah, when Rowan comes back, have it make it a foursome.
All right.
I don't mind that, and you can do a whole angle of them. Maybe they kick out the third. They kick out the third guy or whatever. And then,
Who would you even put in there right now as a third person?
Ooh, that's a good question, man.
What would that angle even involve?
I don't know.
Not Kane, because you would expect Kane to be
No,
involved in
it's
something
not
else.
Kane. Maybe a guy from NXT. Maybe Finn Balor. Maybe. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, maybe from someone from NXT, because maybe that's who we unveil who the fake Bray Wyatt
Bull.
was.
Bring up Bull.
Right.
He stood in for Bray Wyatt. I think that was him.
I don't know if that was him, because I thought the guy had a shaved head when they pulled the mask off.
Shaved heads, sheets on your head.
And Bull, not like, all right, well, he did.
Talking about porn. Where's the show coming
He
to,
had a
Steve?
buzzed
We don't have a
haircut.
guest on the show, and the show goes to shit.
Well, I think it's quality.
I think so too. Hopefully, the people enjoy it.
What about the Divas, though? We didn't talk about them at all. We just talked about her becoming Sasha Grey. And
We're
we got
still
totally
getting there. We still have
sidetracked
10
by
minutes before we have to
pornography.
Wrap it up. We still got
Oh.
there. Said the best for last, man.
Talking about pornography and wrapping it up, and Sasha
Confederate
Grey.
flags, sheets on the head.
It's got out of hand here real fast.
Sheets, sheep,
That's what happens when you have
porn.
no interviews and
No
John
direction
Thorne isn't
whatsoever.
here.
This is what happens. There's no direction whatsoever. We are giving away the book, though. We do got some books from the.
Yeah, sure. Daniel
publisher
Bryan
one-
is gonna love this.
A publisher gave us books to give away of a reputable company like WWE. Follow us on Twitter, TIA Wrestling, and let us know why you want a Daniel Bryan book. All right, yeah, Women's Revolution. Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair.
Say you want a revolution.
You've been saving that all week.
Yeah.
All weekend
I
you've been
just thought of
saving
it
it.
now.
But they're up. They had 2 matches, not 1 but 2, and some not just your quick 3-minute,
No, I
slam
was so
and
happy
land,
about
thank
that.
you,
I
man.
thought I was nervous they were gonna do that on Raw.
Yeah,
I was.
too, a little
As
bit.
soon as they made it to the commercial break, I was like, yes, they gave them time.
But when Stephanie's involved, they got to give a little more pub, which they have, which they are, which is great. I don't know what else there is to say to it. They've had some great matches, but you can tell the level of talent has been raised. And Brie Bella, she's awful. Nikki Bella, a little bit better than Brie, but ugh. I say
I would still like to see Nikki with these girls. to really.
I
I
know
want
they're
to be. I want to
teasing
be fair.
Obviously they're teasing it.
Yeah, I'd
I
like to
know.
be fair in my assessment. I want
But-
to see her wrestle against them.
There's a reason why the Divas division is in shits because of the Bellas and other divas that are just there because they look good, not because of they've been hard. Paige
You're
has.
saying these girls don't look good.
No, I'm saying they look good, but that's the reason why they're up and they're on the reality show. But Paige, is better than what she's been doing last year.
Mm-hmm.
She's an excellent wrestler. She's been wrestling since she was a kid. Charlotte Flair is in her blood. And then you have Becky Lynch. She's been wrestling for years. Sasha Banks, indie star. I mean, these girls are not getting into wrestling because it's a cool thing to do right now. And they're a model and they have an ass and they have boobs. No, they've been wrestling because they love it and they've been successful and they've worked their ass off. They paid their dues and now they're up here and the level of talent has been raised and I love it. And I don't look at these girls as divas. I look at them as women professional wrestlers.
The level of quality wrestling, as we talk about divas with family bloodlines, between Charlotte and Tamina, quite large.
Well, Tamina, she is a good wrestler.
Dude,
It's just
injuries have maybe put her back
and
to
her dad's a murderer, dude.
some setbacks. That's not nice. Allegedly.
Okay, that's true. Allegedly, we got to throw that in there.
Oh.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
For a lawsuit. But no, that's no reason why. But I mean, Tamina, she has a talent.
Brock
She
Lesnar
just-
wants to be a murderer.
Yeah.
He said so.
I will murder you.
How can you be a murderer to a guy who's already dead?
Okay, and if Taker can appear when it turns dark, why can't Taker turn the lights off and then the ring clears and Lesnar it's him and Lesnar? Every time people are trying to get in the ring, gong, lights go off.
I don't know. Now are those guys who went way too far with?
Like where did Seth
reading into it.
Rollins?
Where
go?
did he disappear to?
Where did the referee go, dude?
They merged into becoming the Undertaker.
Is
Like-
Seth Rollins and the Undertaker the same person?
The Undertaker is like Batman. Like Seth Rollins is Bruce Wayne. You've never seen Seth Rollins and the Undertaker in the same room, or Seth Rollins and.
But they did do a triple baller bomb on Undertaker.
Oh, that's
before.
true. That did happen.
It did happen. So
Well, maybe they're like the Undertaker's like Captain Planet, and and Seth Rollins and the referee's powers combined.
yeah, I don't know, but it's intriguing. But where did Rollins go? Where did the referee go?
Not explained. Just gone.
It's gone. No contest.
See ya.
Done. Which I don't care. It's fine.
But back to the ladies.
Yeah,
Sorry,
back
ladies.
to the ladies. But yeah, I love the divas coming up from NXT. Oh, I'm sorry, the woman coming up from NXT. We see Becky Lynch. Charlotte Flair has a couple wins underneath her belt. Sasha has been great.
Yeah, Sasha got the win last
Sasha
night
Grey
on Monday Night
is
Raw.
always great.
Sasha Banks,
Bank on a bank statement.
the
Do
boss.
you like that?
the boss?
The bank statement as her finisher?
I like the move that she combines it with that neck breaker.
What's the next
think that's
move gonna
pretty
be?
slick.
Called the vault?
I'm not gonna touch that.
I want to call removes the red dye pack.
The bank. Yeah, what would you? I don't know. Could be.
ATM teller.
No, you don't put
Going to the teller.
ATM in there.
ATM. We put some. Yeah, you gotta put ATM in there somehow.
Yeah.
She's got her in the ATM.
Yeah. Michael Cole doesn't need that to distract him too.
ATM.
Do you like that Charlotte calls it the figure eight?
Yeah, I like that. A little spin on it. It's not just ripping off Flair. It's her own little thing.
Yeah. And then what's Becky's called? Her armbar?
Disarmor. Yeah, disarmor.
But that's like disarm her
Yeah, disarm her.
because
Yeah.
they're women. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that pun. I mean, those moves.
Just got it.
That's you just got. I like it. The bank statement. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's good. I don't think that should be her submission move name. I think that should be like a finishing move name,
Deposit slip, maybe.
but
for a
not
move
the
finish?
submission move. Because the bank statement's like, boom, I made a statement. You just flattened somebody, right?
Yeah, but don't you have like just go paperless?
Yeah, I don't know. The bounce check.
Just go paperless, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully she goes paperless because we gotta save some trees, dude. All right, you get a bank statement in the mail? They have it's like like 2 pages of your bank stuff and then like 5 pages of crap that they're
It
telling
is.
you. It's a
So
waste
much
of a
nonsense.
tree, and like millions of people get that. Go paperless. Hopefully she encourages to go paperless with your bank statement.
I like Sasha Banks.
I know you love her.
Former guest of the show. She's She's so fun as a heel, and in person she's hard not to like. Is even on there? I think she's hard not to like.
If you
She's
can
the boss.
be locked in a room to interview one person, Lesnar or Sasha Banks, what would you be?
I wouldn't want to be locked in a room with Lesnar. You kidding me? I might not make it out alive.
To interview.
He would eat me. He'd get hungry during the interview and eat me.
Okay, he's not a monster. He's not gonna eat.
He's a
people.
beast.
Okay, Steve, wrestling isn't real. I'm talking. Okay, buddy.
Yeah, but he's still a beast.
It'll probably be Sasha.
I don't
pick
care.
Sasha.
I'd pick Sasha.
All right, Steve, we gotta wrap it up, man. We're going way longer than we wanted for this show.
Well, we got sidetracked a little bit.
Definitely, but it was good stuff. All right, TIA Wrestling on Twitter. I got a Daniel Bryan, holding a Daniel Bryan book for you right now. Follow us. Let us know why you want the book. We got $35, dude. We started this last week, this part of the weekend. We just been, tweeting here and there, but we're gonna build our followers up.
Tell us what things you want us to talk about. So when we do have a show like this, we know maybe it's a countdown of things. If you enjoyed like our Patreon countdown, or list stuff like that.
Yeah, let us know. TIA Wrestling website coming soon as well. So we're gonna have a bunch of stuff going on with the show. A lot of interviews coming up. Larry Zbyszko, I'm interviewing him in Miami this weekend. I will be at NXT in Miami, so follow me on Twitter and also the show if you want to see pictures and stuff. And looking forward to doing that as well this weekend, my vacation in Miami. So we'll be back next week. Steve and I are going to be...
Make sure you put out the right pictures, Glenn.
Yeah, I definitely will. I won't pull Rollins. Definitely not. All right, Steve, anything before we wrap it up, man?
I don't think so.
I covered it all.
Follow us on our Twitter, TIA Wrestling. I know we usually do our own, but yes.
Yeah.
Again.
One-stop shop Twitter account.
Also, hashtag get John Thorne famous.
I'm not going to get famous with 35 followers. We got to build it up.
Nope.
Build it up. Also, follow us on Twitter. TIA Wrestling is a Twitter handle. We're just going to keep pumping this up.
Shout out to my
week.
homie Jingle Toes, who I got to pop in and see at his place of work this past weekend.
Oh.
And we were interrupted by a drunk wrestling superfan.
Oh. Was it Frankie Flynn?
Not Frankie Flynn.
Frankie Flynn. That guy.
It's the best.
He will be a guest on the show.
If you could interview one person locked in a room, Sasha Banks, Brock Lesnar, Frankie Flynn.
Sasha Banks.
Frankie Flynn.
Go with it. Of course you say Frankie Flynn. You and Jingle Toes.
All right, I'm sorry, Frankie. I would pick Sasha Banks.
We got to get Frankie on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to get Frankie on the show?
You know I do.
So I can destroy him.
Stop. I would defend him.
Dude.
I'd defend his honor.
Dude, why'd you wear pants, man? Wear pants.
We need to mix up his...
He does know on the show we rip on him. I rip on him.
He listens to the show.
Yeah, he does. He goes, I didn't know what I did wrong. Like, he was so sad. I was like, yeah, you sit down, Frankie Flynn. Put some pants on, boy. And pull your rose away, your cape.
I forgot that he had the red trunks previously. Now he's got the white trunks. I like the red trunks better, but I want to see the pants.
All that, his budget for fucking tailors must be off the hook, man.
Pants. Frankie Flynn, you hit me up, man. We're going to work on this character development.
Steve's the last person you want to be hit up.
That's not true.
Character development.
I'm great for character development.
All right. We'll talk to you guys next week. This is Awesome Wrestling Show. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, TIA Wrestling, for a Daniel Bryan book, courtesy of St. Martin's Press. Daniel Bryan will be on the show coming weeks. We promise.
No one's still
Awesome
listening
interview.
at this point.
Yeah, they are.
They had to tune out.
Because we have...
I would have.
Well, we say the best announcement for last. The big announcement.
Yeah?
Which is...